I'm Kevin Edusakadia.
And I'm Leon the Champong.
And you're watching Afrocentricity.
With us now, there's 3 of us. Obviously, my other partner, Stacey, couldn't be here because he's on his travels. But I know Kevin through Stacey. And then we all just clicked because we was all like in the same type of mind frame, just trying to look for a change and that kind of thing. So we was talking about like, you know, natural resources from Africa and how we could do something with it, you know what I'm saying? And then whilst we was talking about that, it was weird because me and Kevin ended up going to Ghana at the same time, you know what I'm saying? So when we was there now, we kind of made a plan that we're going to look for opportunities in Africa like Ghana and see what we can kind of put together basically. And then when we come back, we can have a plan, you know, whether we're going to do something or not. So we went to Ghana, then we met up one day on the beach, you know, drinking, chilling on the beach, just chatting. And we was just chatting, you know, like bringing up ideas and whatever. And it was so weird that on one side of the beach, you had everyone in the bars partying, eating good food. And we just went to the other end of the beach where there was no one. And it was just like us and a few people. We just sat down on a towel, you know, like just real basic, you know what I'm saying? Like you would have thought we was the locals, where the locals was having fun, you know what I'm saying? And we were just there vibes in. And then we came up with a few ideas. We came back. And then I totally forgot about it, you know what I'm saying? And then Kevin just phoned me like, yo, bro, remember what we was talking about? Like, I put some plans together and this, that. And I'm like, what are you on about? He said, yeah, the ideas of bringing the raw materials. And I'm like, for real? So then from there, it's like we sat down, had a meeting, and boy, it was like on and on. Like from there, we had to register a company, do trademark, and it was like, whoa, you know, it was crazy. But that's what I remember how we started. I'm sure Kevin can, you know,
No, it's the same. It's the same. What should I say? Same thing. If you say personal background, boy, all our personal backgrounds is so different to what we actually do now. From my trying to become an architect and realizing that it's not for me. It's some 7 years of my dedication to something that I thought I was into it, but like speaking to Leon and the reality of things is like, if I can make a change now, why wait 7 years to be called, to just get a title that really doesn't mean anything to myself, or maybe it's good on paper for my dad or my parents, because that's what, as African parents, that's what they want to tell. They want to show everyone the graduation pictures and tell tell the story. So in the sense, I thought if we can make a change directly, why not? And as Leon said, in terms of the progression of the company, we just decided it, made loads of mistakes, and then we just decided to go for it. And now we're here. Yeah, it's just, well, to me personally, I think I want to show the kids now that, like, I'm not trying to steal Obama's line, but yes, we can. Why not? That's something that my dad always used to say to me. If I would say, oh, but I can't, he would just look at me like, why not? It was difficult. The funny story is like I was born in Ghana, but when we came here first, I was just sitting there thinking, oh man, am I gonna go to school with these people I don't know? And he said, the only thing they're better than you is they just talk faster than you, but apart from that, you've got nothing to worry about. And the man thinking, well, what's this guy talking about? And I went, and I just like, oh, is that it? I was sitting and listening, just thinking, boy, this is easy. Why are these people complaining? But then, if we talk about the what we want to achieve, I just think it's the change in terms of what I can show my kids and what we can achieve as a young black man. Let me just say that as well, because we don't have that many. Should I say real role models, like someone that I can relate to, and that's what I want to be. I want to be a real role model, not some music artist or whatever. I still think myself as a normal person. Whenever I talk to anyone, it's almost like, should I say, educating them in whatever I know, just to pass on some sort of knowledge, because not a lot of us black people do that, because there's a certain type of greed that stops us from sharing information. And between me and Leon, we say it all the time. Imagine if my dad told me this, or imagine if my dad told me to do this, which luckily my dad did, which gave me a certain grounding, but now I want to kind of do the same thing on, so that's my biggest like my objective is to get PN to a standard that I can be like, let me just pass it down to my kids. Like,
the only thing I can add is that I think it's a building a habit that other people can follow, in the sense of we've got this mindset of it's someone's fault, or someone has to help us, or someone has to get us from the position we're in. And I feel like everything is in your power, because everything in existence comes from someone else's mind. So if you use your mind to the best ability, you can create whatever you want to create, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like when we look at like Africa, for instance, and when you go back, and I feel like the kids and people over there ain't exposed to certain things where we know, but we're sitting here and just judging them like, oh, why aren't they doing that and why aren't they doing that? But all you need to do is just show them how to do something once, and they're running off with it, you know what I'm saying? So if you can give them that, you know what I'm saying, that insight, like, look, you can do this yourself, give them that grounding, like, this is the habits: wake up early, think, work hard, and just progress on what you want to do. And they can do that, but no one ain't giving them the info, so they just looking around lost. And then when you're looking around and you're not getting no help from nowhere, the main thing is you're just going to settle for whatever is there, you know what I'm saying? And I think like information, like someone said, that information is the biggest commodity out there, and information is useless if you can't pass it on, because most of us die with all the information, and there's billions of kids out there that need the information we know, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like our thing is to be in a position where we can help and educate. So that's one of our main ethos, is to create, aid, and educate. That's our thing. But for us to be able to do that, we need to get that paper to be in position, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we're trying to just put ourselves in a position where when I talk now, you're not going to look at me, oh, this guy's always talking. I want to talk, but you just see like, yeah, this guy looks like money, man. Let me listen, because people respect the money. You know what I'm saying? There's no point of giving advice and they looking at you like, boy, you're struggling just like me. Yeah. So what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So I want to speak, but they look at me and say, yeah, you know what, I believe him. Whatever he says, I'm going to do, because I want to get what he's got. You see it? Even though I don't want to live flashy, but you have to do that for people to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, if you're riding a bicycle and I'm trying to say, look, work hard, they're thinking work hard just to get a bicycle. I'm not on that. You know what I'm saying? So
there's been a lot of rich people riding bicycles.
Yeah, and it's the mindset that you have to change. That you can have money and ride a bicycle. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be in a big car to show that you got money, because a lot of the people in Africa in the big cars ain't helping nobody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're not helping. You might wash their car, but he ain't gonna tell you how to get your own car. Yeah, you could just come and wash it and I'll give you a little change. And that's it. They will do that for 20 years, 50 years, never tell you. And they die with all the information. And then it's back to square one. So we want to change that, where I've got it, you've got it, Kevin's got it, and we all got it. You know what I'm saying? So if I fall down, you can just help me back up, and then we just run in the race. It's a relay. We trying to take it to that point, pass the baton, and let someone else take over. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it is for us. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's been good. It's been interesting, because it's like without it, we won't still be here. That's what I say. So I think that response is helping us grow, because a lot of the time, like when me and Leon are markets, we spend so many time just talking to customers, and we learn a lot. Well, probably 70% of our products have been influenced by customers, because just the conversation and the support that we've been getting from them. So I think the response has been good, but it's not been easy, because sometimes you get the good responses and then you get the, not negative, because you always get the, the who you know, the people that think they know, that try to challenge you and ask you so many questions that you're thinking, just take a step back and think, we're only 2 years, 3 years old. Like whenever we started, people will expect us to be on another level that we think, hold on, just think, we only just started, so give us that chance. But the response has been good, which is making us make stuff, but we still want more anyway. That's the thing, because we can't get comfortable, because we need to push ourselves to even move what we're doing to the next level in that sense.
I feel like the response has been good, but I feel like once again, I think it's about the mindset and how now we know a lot more, so we can do more. When we started, it was just fighting that inner, how can I say, the inner demons of, yes, you can do it. You know, like you have so much doubt. So, oh, is people gonna like us? Is this, that? You know what I'm saying? You're just trying to put barriers in your own way. And no one ain't even putting barriers for you. But you're just putting it there yourself, because I feel like it's a mindset that we get brought up with, where you don't really challenge yourself and you don't really think as positive. So when we started, I feel like the first year or the first year and a half, we was just battling ourselves, because we was like, oh, we got products, should we put it out? What people gonna think? And we spend so much time thinking that, but we wasn't even getting no feedback. We was our own critics. You know what I'm saying? Then when we put the things out there, people was loving it. And we was like, whoa, you know, people are walking past, oh my God, I really love the cream that you gave me, the soap. And I'm like, for real? Like, you know, like you still can't believe it. Like people are liking what we do. But I feel like sometimes it's a lot of the backgrounds we grow from, where it's just always like a negative talking down to, instead of like my dad used to be the one, like, there's no such word as can't. But then you have to put it in practice to actually see that everything can be done. It might take you a year or two, you know what I'm saying? And then now we see the feedback, but it's still hard, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like the more you struggle and learn, because it's just a learning, the struggle is just a learning curve. Yeah. So you learn more, so then when you actually get where you want to be, you got like a storyline too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got like a trail, a road that you followed. Like you can tell people, oh, remember the times when we were struggling, the times where we was up, the times. You need all of that to make the story kind of go past. And I remember there was a time where we were just having a tough time, like the bills was just hitting in and in and in. And then I spoke to my grandma, and then she's like, oh, how's it going? I'm like, oh man, I'm struggling. She said, listen, anytime you're about to get victory, the times get hard before you win. I said, okay, cool. From that kind of speech, you know what I'm saying? That speech just gave me that, how can I say? It just gave me that little edge, like, you know what, bro, we're about to win. Like, we got something good. All we need to do is just keep pushing it, and we're there. You know what I'm saying? Where these times, I could have just took it in a negative way, like, oh, we're struggling, let's give up, and you start going in a downward spiral, you know what I'm saying? But we looked at it and thought, you know what, yeah, grandma said, you know, grandma said we're about to win. So, you know, and Kevin's grandma is the same. She always, when she calls, it's like, oh, you guys still together, you still doing the business. How she's always giving us that positive insight. And I remember she told us one advice, best advice she gave us when we was in Ghana is, don't ever look at the negative side of each other. Always look at the positive side of each other. If you're going to work together and grow, always look at the positive side, because if you look at the negative, it's just going to start tearing up the business, you know. So things like that is keeping us, you know, going. And I feel like there's more to what we do, but people are only seeing one aspect, which is like the skincare side of things and that. But
even when we talk about responses, I think my biggest one is when people come and shop like they're in Tesco's, because it's like when we've been selling it first time, like at the market, you always want to jump in and like sell your products. But now sometimes it's almost like people come in and you might recognize their face, but then they come in and go, oh, do you still have that? Do you still have that? And they just go and pick it. Can I have this one, this one? And the shock is almost like, oh, wow, like, where did you come from? Like that lady that came from, America. She was like, oh, yeah, I bought your stuff last time, but I'm back in London now. And I just came to top up on PM products. And it's almost like, wow, like, if that don't give you that extra boost to do more, because you're never letting yourself down. It's like that woman from America might be here this weekend, so let me make sure I've got all the products out there in that sense. So it's just the balance of that. Your inner belief in the product, and now the response of actually seeing that, oh wow, someone just took a picture of our product and posted it in Berlin. There was it Rio de Janeiro beach and Japan, and Germany, and then it's almost like, wow, like it still shocks me, but I still think me and Leon say, like, we're nowhere. We haven't gone in anywhere, but when you see the feedback from customers, it's almost like the response is good, so we better keep that should I say, high, keep that expectations high and hard all the time in terms of our work ethic, because once we slack, customers will notice it. So in that sense, the response has been good, but we still want more. Time, time, and the obvious is money, but time in a sense of time and getting legal. Let me just put it out there for anyone that wants to start a business. Get legal. Like the legal aspects of so many things, because before we just, like one example I could use is that labeling, for instance. We didn't know anything about labeling, then you just keep putting words on things trying to sell it, but then you think, hold on, I can't even put natural without proving it's natural. But then you think it's just a basic word, or even the description of saying heals this or cures this or really good for, you need to be very specific with your wording. So that's another difficult aspect of it. But to be honest, I think everything is difficult because we're still learning every single day. Like, and now that technology is moving fast and Brexit is going to hit us, so maybe we might even need to start thinking of new EU laws or EU regulations. So difficult challenges, boy, there's too many, because it can be time, it can be money, it can be people, it can be orders or suppliers. And the Ghana side of things here. So yes, struggles. I don't know. I think my one is time, because if I feel like if I could get more time, I can do more. But then again, it's the balance of the time management, because I've already just started telling Leon that, you know, I'm just going to focus on one thing, because I can't keep multitasking all the time to try and achieve the best that I can. But I know that if I focus on one, I can get that to a certain level and then leave that and then move on to the next thing. So that's for me anyway.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think there's really no such thing as difficulties, in a sense of, I feel like you only face difficulties because you don't know enough. And I think that's where it is. It's just lack of information that people always struggle, because you see, it's like learning how to ride a bike or something, and then you just find it difficult. But as soon as you learn how to ride it, it becomes so easy, and then you just practice it every day. So with us now, I feel like we didn't have no one in business that was telling us, you know what, okay, you guys do this, you guys do this, you guys do that. We just dived in, deep end. Like, when I say deep end, head first, you know what I'm saying? And then we was like, oh, okay, we're in. And then, you know, like then you get a letter, if you guys done this, like, what's that? Then you have to go and read up about it, learn up about it. You know what I'm saying? So from there, I feel like the more we was learning now, things was becoming easier. You know what I'm saying? But before, we didn't know. And it's easy to say I don't know, but I don't cut it. As a businessman and as a director, so all I don't know is not gonna work. You need to know. You need to be in the know-how, because like, you could be in the market and someone will come, oh, can I buy this? What is it good for? And you can't be like telling lies. You have to actually tell them what is good for, and you know what I'm saying? So you know your products, you know what you're talking about, you know what the uses are, what is good for. So it's all about being in the know. So I feel like the more information and knowledge that we're getting, you become more relaxed, and then you can do your job properly. Otherwise, you find difficulties in everything because you're not ready to do it, or you're not built to do it. Once you get yourself in that position, you can actually start making differences and changes. And then when people come and we're giving them advice and we're telling them about the products, they're looking at you like, okay, like, and you see, I feel like information plus confidence, people just then believe in your product, because you're not stuttering on what you're saying, and it's not, oh, hold on a minute, can I look it up or anything. You're saying it, and we use the products. So it's not like I'm trying to sell someone's product and I'm trying to lie, you know. We use the product. So if you come and we say, okay, I'll use this is what it does, it's good for this, and for people, okay, can I try it, please? You know, so I feel like I wouldn't look at it as difficulties, because if you look at it as difficulty, then it's like nothing can't be done about it. It's just a phase that once we get the right information and learn about it, onto the next step, and that's it. It's just different levels that, and I feel like now we are at that level where you just need to learn the right, how can I say, just the right small touches. The information just to do the small, like you're saying, the legal thing, someone would just pull you up about something tiny. You know what I'm saying? But it needs to be done. So you have to be so focused and sharp on everything. Yeah? And like, people ain't gonna, when you get to a certain level, people ain't gonna accept, I didn't know that. It's not good enough, you know what I'm saying? It's your job to know, and nothing is hidden. All the information is there, so it's your job to find out. And that's one thing when you get into business, it's your job. To me, I think it's very good, because you know what? Everyone's different. We all think different. You know what I'm saying? We do things differently. So to us, being on the creative side, it was like, it's just, we see things on the market, but what about if we give it to them how we think? You know what I'm saying? Add our style, and we feel like we got style, and we got that, we can add that culture, the style, and like a little difference to what we do. We can do something else in a different way and pitch it out there. And I feel like now we are all accepting the cultures very good. Everyone's embracing each other's cultures. So it's good that I can bring something from an African background, someone from a European background, someone from a South American background, but we can all put it together and let the brains work. You know what I'm saying? And I think nowadays it's not about limitations and all this like barriers, and it's just communicating. We feel the vibe, we get on, let's do what we need to do, and not even like focus on the negative aspects, because you can get caught up in that and you will never progress. And then for you to progress, you can't have enemies. You have to be able to get on with everyone, because that's how it goes.
How some of our stuff looks, not many people think it's from African or Ghanaian influence or whatever African country, because the packaging, because it's like when we started doing it, a lot of people would be surprised that, oh, like your packaging looks nice, and it's almost like that's one thing as a Ghanaian guy, that's what Ghanaians don't do. Yeah. So even we or African people, like if you see our products, you'd be like, oh, come on, the packaging needs to be better. So we wanted to bring that, give it that luxury look, but with all the benefits, because that's one thing that we believe in, because that's like us. It's like if you want to do something well, do it right and appeal to everyone, because it's easy to go to the Ghana shop or the African shop and just pick up a bag of shea butter, or pick up the body butter, because they don't care about that. And then that's what people would be, Europeans could be a bit put off about it, because their culture is regulations and testings, and have you got the right paperwork? Or even when people ask you, oh, what courses have you done, or how do you know this? Is almost like, oh, I know what I've done, but how does that prove what the product is? So in a sense, it's like, it's important to bring the products, but then the look, the education, and the whole total package goes with it. Because as Africans, even the craziest thing is when we took our first batch of lip balms, when we took it to the women that we bought the shea butter from, they couldn't believe that it was their shea butter.
Yeah, because we just put a twist, you know.
They couldn't believe it. We gave it to them. They're looking at it like, nah, are you serious? Like this ain't what you bought from us. And I was like, no, this is what the whole world is doing to like small villages like this, but they don't come back and show you, because you're just happily taking the money, and then they're going off doing whatever it is, doing crazy things with their money, but they don't come back to see, like, you know what, this is what your thing can become. So maybe that's what gives them their boost, to be like, hold on, if I gave it to them that quality this time, let me make sure the next time they do it, because it's not just for the village anymore, because it's our stuff going into the UK or being spread worldwide. Because I think it's the both sides of the coin. When you bring it here, make it look that, should I say, you just buy it without even thinking about it. Just as even the best part of surprising them, thinking, hold on, this is not that shea butter that they bought from us. So yeah, I think it is good because it's educating both sides of the coin in terms of what the producers, what they make, the quality that they make it, and then when you bring it here, the quality that goes out. Because as Africans or as Ghanaian person, a lot of the time when you're not there, they just slack, and they think, oh, we're just gonna do it anyhow because it's for a Ghana man, so I don't care. But that's that word education. If we educate them to be in a different high expectations, then it's easier for us to sell it at higher price or give it a higher look or that luxury look for people to just see it, believe it, pick it up and just walk away thinking that's a good product. And it's not just how it looks, it's actually how good it is for me. A few of them, well, I think the perfect example is the lip balm project that we just did, in terms of just knowing what goes in our products. So people have been shocked and surprised, but people are still a bit, oh, I like my Vaseline. But then we just go to the point that what's on the label. Let's compare labels, because we know everything that is in ours is plant-based and it's natural. So read, like Leon says, like let get them to read the label on the back of their lip balm, and it's got all these long chemicals in it, and then Google that, and then we just say, oh, petroleum is from crude oil. So what toxic, how do they extract it for you to put it on your lips? So in that sense, as soon as you say something like that, and with Google generation now, if you don't believe us, just go and see what's in it. And then just that realization, just go, oh, you know what, let me just put that lip balm down and let me take one of yours, because that's what's good for me. But you still get people that are very skeptical in the sense of, who are you to tell me this? I'll just try a little bit and come back and let you know. So a lot of the feedback's been good because of how much lip balms we took this weekend. But no matter what, it's just people's natural instincts and what they're used to. That's going to be a constant challenge in that sense. But it all depends on that light bulb moment that goes on in the head. Like, hold on, these guys are actually making sense. This is really not good. Why would I put toxic in my body? And I think a simple thing I saw online somewhere, that when a plant, you only give a plant water, but why would you give your kids like sweet Coca-Cola? And it was just 2 pictures of a water going into a plant, and then all these like Coke Zeros and everything just being given to a kid, think about the difference, because all the plants always need is water, and it's taller than us, higher than us. So it's just people's perception of, you know what, they're being sensible, but am I gonna take it? So that's my view on it anyway.
Yeah, I think education is a funny thing, where it's a way you talk to people where people don't feel like, why are you trying to, you know what I'm saying, look down on me, or you think I'm not educated. But I feel like we just more information based, we just informative, give people the information. You come, we give you the information about the products, and we're not saying, oh, our one's the best, so just buy it. We just, look, here's the info, this is what it does. Then we leave it up to you to make that decision, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't really force people to change their mindset. Like, people are comfortable in their ways. So when you're comfortable with something and it's working for you, you just want to stick with that, you know what I'm saying? So with us now, what we do is, we give you the info, then, like you said, Google, go and do your research, check it out, and if you feel like you need it, you can come back. So we're not forcing people like, yeah, we the best out here, buy our products, you know what I'm saying? Because we know our products is good. So then if you know the thing is good, you don't really need to force people to buy it. You know what I'm saying? People will go and do their research and know that it's good, and we're just giving people 100% products anyway, with no artificial additional stuff. So once they use it now, and then they compare it to other stuff, then they realize, whoa, that's what they was talking about. So a lot of the times, we, like I said before, we just look for people that's going the same direction, because it's easier to talk to them and they understand. Where a lot of the times, if you're trying to, someone who's stuck in their ways, it just becomes like a debate or argument, and that's not what we're here to do. We're just trying to sell the products, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So we focus more on that. But if people come, and some people just generally don't know, like, oh, excuse me, do you know anything for like maybe eczema, this, that, and then we can just give them the information. Like, that's it. Some people want the education. Some people know, so they just want to have the conversation. And then some people just like, you know, stuck in the old ways, like they say, you know. Okay, what's next is, well, at the minute, I think at the start of the year, we just done like our charity in Ghana. You know, so we're trying to then link it up with here. So we're trying to do like a charity here. We got it done in Ghana already, registered, everything good to go. So if we can set it up here as well, then we can have that link from here to Ghana. And then basically, like we said, aid, create, and educate. So then we make people donate books, people donate clothes, money, whatever they donate. And then what we're trying to do is ship it. So community, like the places where we buy our products from as well, we tend to give them stuff. Like a couple of years back, we went to like a few orphanages, we gave them clothes, we gave them books, we was out there with them for the day out, you know what I'm saying? We brought food and all of that, you know what I'm saying? And then every time we go back, we try to bring clothes, we try to bring books, and like just inform people about what's going on in the world, what they can do to make a change. And we feel like if we can do that on a bigger scale, then it will create more, not like more awareness in the sense of, oh, look at us, we do charity work, but you know what I'm saying? Just more awareness of, look, we got raw materials, this is what we're doing with it. You lot can do the same thing. And then the next thing as well is just taking the company to that next level where, you know, you're seeing us on the billboards, and you know what I'm saying, we're headlining like the Afro punks and all of that, and you know what I'm saying, people are coming to see us, like, you know what I'm saying, like sponsoring all these big events like Africa the Square, Afro punks and all of that. So you know what I'm saying, that's the next thing we're trying to put there. But you know what, like it's all in the pipeline, but it's kind of narrow. So we're trying to buy that, you know, some new pipelines, you know what I'm saying, the bigger versions, you know. But yeah, that's the next level that we're trying to take it to, because, well, it's like it's all or nothing. So you might as well just go all out and just leave that legacy, you know. You know what I'm saying?
And the food side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we spoke about the food side of things, where we just bring like dry food, so things like teas, you know what I'm saying, plant-based food that's very nourishing, like moringa, the powder, the seeds, and like cashew nuts, and all these things that we got in abundance, and we just need to process it and just market it in the right way. So all these things, like people are seeing the candles and the skincare, and it's like, listen, we got all the foods to come, we got the charity to come, we got all these creative projects that like we want to put in place, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's so big, like we never even knew it was big, like, you know, like it was weird because Kevin's dad just sent us on some mission, and I don't know if it was his mission, but he just sent us on a mission, and then by the time we look back, it was like, whoa, you know what? We got something so big that we didn't know it was that big. So it's like you have to break it down into sections, otherwise you're going to be confusing people and yourself, because it's what we're trying to do is so big. That's why it's like it consumes a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of space, and a lot of knowledge that you need to learn, because you can't just do something great just by you know what I'm saying, just by luck. And a lot of people believe in luck, but I just believe in information. There's no such thing as luck, you get me? Everything falls in place when you're just moving in the right direction. And like my grandma always says to me, we only support people who are climbing the right tree. We only give them the push if they're climbing the right tree, you know what I'm saying? So when you get to them position and people are helping you, that's what they call it, luck. But it's like you've put yourself there, you know what I'm saying? You've got yourself in them position for others to assist you and help you. So I don't call it luck, because if we didn't turn up, we wouldn't have met you at Afropunk, you know what I'm saying? So, and we had to pay to turn up, you know what I'm saying? So
and even that first, our first trip to Tamale, the first time, that was the biggest risk ever. That we just took a flight from Accra. That's where the shea butter base was, and we just thought, you know what, why not? So we go on the flight, got there, and we just thought, how are we going to get to Bolga? Because obviously we did our research thinking there's this specific place that just gets us shea butter. And then we thought, oh yeah, let's just go there. And then we just randomly met this guy, the taxi driver. And then the second time, we decided to go to Tamale, and then that journey where
we took instead of a plane,
we just save the money and just go the local transport. And boy, was it the tire burst in the middle of the night, changing the wheel. And for some reason, Leon travels with like one of those, what do you call it? Headlights. And I'm thinking, why are you traveling with why are you traveling with torchlights with a headlight in Ghana? That came in so well because we had to change the tire in the middle of the night. And that journey was only 4 guys and the driver, and the rest were women and kids. So imagine like the journeys that we've had is crazy that we're thinking, hold on, look at us now, because we're nowhere. Because that dedication. And so when you say what's next for PN, I'm thinking, boy, that village, that school that we said we want to do so many projects with them, because it's just, for me, it's more fulfilling to know that we're not just helping ourselves. Because yes, everyone's in business to make money, but it's what do you do with that money? And that's what I said the greed comes in, because a lot of people be like, oh, I'm just going to be quiet because I don't want someone else to do it. Because there's nothing, people look at us and be like, you're always giving information, like, so yeah, go and do it and see, because we're giving it, but it wasn't easy. So we Leon always says, like, we don't have any competition, because people are like, who are your main rivals? So who are your who do you look at? Who are your competitors? And a lot of the time we're like, we don't have any, because all these businesses have done one thing and they're good for that. And so even when I try, and people are like, oh, so are you lot like Holland and Barrett's? And I'm like, actually we're not, because Holland and Barrett's have other people's products in their shop. But we can one day have our own shop, but with all the products being ours. It's not even like, oh, you're just putting some other people's stuff on your shelves. And it's not being egotistical or anything, but that's the vision, or that's what that's the vision of what you want to create. Because, and it's not even going to be just that shop, because the food is going to be in there, the projects that we do is going to carry on, the workshops that we want to do to educate people like us, even like the schools. It's a lot, but if we don't start now. And I always say, like I say to Leon, that we're crawling in the right direction. We can't run to it, because, it's not easy. And
I feel like we ain't got no competitions, in the sense of we're not trying to do what other people's trying to do. Our thing is like, how can I say it? It's like I said, it was like Kevin's dad just sent us on a mission, and then something just guiding us to where we need to go. So we're not here like, okay, we never sat down like, yeah, we're gonna be like Lush or Holland and Barrett's, or, you know what I'm saying? We just thinking that we trying to create a platform where it's gonna send a message across to young kids from all around the world, like, you know what I'm saying, that make a difference. What's the point of coming out here and living and dying and that's it? You know what I'm saying? Just make that difference of, like, people will always remember you, not because you left so much money, because you touched so much lives, that people want to follow in that same footsteps. You know, so much people died and left money, but no one cares about them. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to know that we build a library, which Kevin's grandma wants to do, build a library that we supplied enough books that put that spark in someone else's brain, like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? And that's all we want to do. We just the magnetic charge. We just sending out that energy and starting off that, you know what I'm saying?
That ripple effect.
Yeah, that's all we're doing, you know. We're not trying to be like, oh, just be some multi-billion company, but you're just soulless. There's no life to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I wanna listen, like I always say to people, I wanna be that man in a village where if you was to come and do me harm, the whole village will protect me, because they know what I'm doing for the village. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking their money. I'm bringing food. I'm bringing water to everyone. So if I'm eating, we all eating. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went to Gambia, and I remember the man's house I was staying, they brought the food, and then he called me. So when he called me, I'm like, why is there one bowl on the TV, like on the table and just 3 spoons. Like, where's the food? And he's looking at me like, yeah, sit down, man, let's eat. Then I realized how touched I was that if you're eating, everyone's supposed to eat. So they just have a big bowl and we're all sitting down, tucking in the same place. And I'm like, whoa, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get money and all your people get money. Like, no one is supposed to be struggling around you and you're rich. It's like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? You're just working for nothing because you're not making no changes. And that's what I feel like in Africa, we've been repeating the same thing because we're not getting the message that, listen, if we all eat together, we're going to go much further than you trying to have 100 million or 100 billion. To what point? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you still don't gain respect from nobody because you're not taking your people out of the places that they're supposed to be taken out of, you know? And to me, that's the change that we want to make. So people can't compete with that because that's not something that you go and learn in uni or school to do. That's just like I said, like the OG just sent us on some mission and then we just following that energy, you know what I'm saying? So it's not even like someone's teaching us, it's just what we're seeing. Like, you know what I'm saying, that the people need us and we need them. So you can't even sleep right when you know that there's so many kids need you. And like, you know what, they hang on to your every word. So why don't you make that come through? You know what I'm saying?
And that's the reality.
Yeah.
It's like we are nowhere.
Yeah.
We are nowhere, but we go back and we have conversations with like uncles and like chiefs and stuff, and they're looking at you like, whoa, like, yeah. So it's almost like if I'm in that position as a young man and I've got someone twice my age actually sitting there listening to what I'm saying, if that's not, like, again, I'm not being egotistical. If that's not power to make change, then what is? Because if you can make a change, do it. Because there's no point sitting there talking about it. Even if it is talking about it, advise them to point them in this direction, point them in that direction, because we talk about stuff that's what's next. Rain was the harvesting. Like you learn something about, hold on, this village hasn't got any water, but you can just get water from the air by just putting a sheet and something just to soak the condensation. And then when you say it to them, they look at you like, what?
Yeah, look, I feel like me, I can't point no more fingers. I feel
No.
we're all responsible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't wait. Like, everyone wants to wait for Africa to be nice before they go back or before they want to be associated with it.
I can't because it's going to run out.
You know,
it needs to be like recorded and listened to.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I know they don't get it when I say.
Listen, but look, they don't get it because they don't want to be responsible. You know what I'm saying? You see, a real man looks, like Michael Jackson said, you have to start with the man in the mirror. You have to look at yourself and say, listen, I'm responsible. So if I'm out there with my trousers low, 20, 30 other young kids is going to walk around with their trousers low. Yeah. Then what advice can I give to them? Nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Was it Instagram, Pureté Nature, but Purete Nature. All of it is Pureté Nature, actually.
Yeah, I think Pureté Nature,
Facebook,
Instagram, Pinterest,
YouTube,
all the social media.
Yeah.
Just type in the company name.
Pureté Nature.com,
and then everything will come up.
Yep. eBay.
Yeah.
Everything.
eBay. We got the website, you know, and Shopify everywhere. We're trying to hustle right now. You know, just support it. Keep the donations coming.
Make a change, man. Not just in yourself, but with everyone around you.